Thank you, Andrew. So with that, I'd like to now introduce you to one of our ex-students. He's now an engineer working in industry in his own right. So I am ashamed to call him my student, but he is my ex-student. We are still collaborators. We are collaborators now. So this is Andre. He did his undergrad, one of the top students in computer engineering. Then he did his master's with us, and also achieved that quite successfully. At the moment, I think he got a job, Andrew, Andre, correct me, in one day. So he's out in industry, successfully living his life. So I think it's a good thing that you get an opportunity to hear from a student and not from us old fogies who've been here forever and don't want to leave. So Andre, please, if you just share some thoughts on your journey and your future as well. Thank you. Andre, no, we can't hear you.
My apologies. New headset.
That's better.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Quazi, for that introduction. Before I carry on, I'd like to greet all of my previous lecturers. I see there's a lot of them present here. Yeah, so I'm here to try and give all of you some more insight as to what it is to be a student at the university. I started in 2016, did my undergrad, and then I did my master's, which I completed last year. And yes, Dr. Quazi, you're correct. I did get a job. I got a job the same day that I got my statement of degree completion for my master's. That was a very pleasant experience. But yeah, let me start with the harsh realities. So shall we say, the degrees, they're very fulfilling, but they're very hard work. There's a lot of information that you will gather when you study at the university, and a lot of it requires a lot of hard work to digest properly. But none of it is ever boring. You won't ever find yourself in a situation where you're looking at work that you say, oh, I already know this, or this isn't something I want to know. All of the work, you can see how it fits together in the grand scheme of things. With that being said, a lot of the EECE, electrical and computer engineering, will share a lot of the same modules, but the differences, especially when it comes to your third and fourth year, will be what distinguish you. So I studied computer engineering, and I chose it simply because I love computers, but I went through my journey with all of the other disciplines. We shared a lot of work. We not that we cheated. We shared a lot of passions for the work. We collaborated on a lot of projects, whether by choice or as that was part of the module. And you'll meet a lot of good people along the way, people that will share your passion for the work that you want to do. In my fourth year, I had the privilege of being able to choose my final project, and I decided to take a project that incorporated as many of the different topics that I had learned through my 4 years at the undergraduate level. I built a robotic arm to assist disabled individuals, and that incorporated, of course, the computer side of it, but it also brought in some mechatronic engineering and electrical engineering, and it was a very good way for me to actually see how everything meshes together. Then after I'd completed my undergraduate degree, I went into my master's with Dr. Quazi being my supervisor. For my master's, I focused very much on the security space. Going back to what Dr. Quazi said in his presentation, there's a lot of focus around the world at the moment, and very much so in South Africa as well, on securing the devices that we use every day. Dr. Quazi also mentioned IoT. IoT's definition is broadening very, very rapidly. A couple of years ago, we would have considered IoT to be a smart fridge, but now IoT is becoming everything. And the interactions we have with those devices are very important for where we're moving as a human race. And my master's focused on securing those IoT devices against attacks, against cybersecurity attacks. I did my master's through research. So that means that in doing that, I tried to be at the forefront of what's current in the field of IoT security. I'm in the process currently, as Dr. Quazi said, we're collaborators. I'm in the process currently of publishing some of the work that I did during my master's. And yeah, that is, I think, the biggest takeaway from my degree is that you don't get left behind. You are put in the position that you can push the field, and by doing that, the world forward. You're not simply a follower. I saw a question about the difference between computer engineering and computer science earlier. And what Dr. Naidu said was very true. We computer engineers, we build the computers, we write the new programming languages. We're the ones that push that field forward. And the same goes for the other disciplines. They, in their own right, push their fields forward and take the rest of everyone with them. I then was lucky enough to have a choice of job opportunities laid out before me because of my degree. I turned down quite a few, notably ABSA and Amazon. And I decided to go work for a company called Insight Consulting. The company that I'm working at now, I'm a junior full stack developer there at the moment. We do internal web-based tools for some of the largest companies in South Africa. At the moment, our flagship client is a company called Engage. Now, I know a lot of you may not have heard of them, but they're the parent company for Spar. So every time you walk into a Spar and you go buy a pie from the heater, that gets logged through a system that we've built for them. And we do the same thing for RCL Foods, which is in charge of Checkers. We are busy taking on a new client for a very fast expanding fast food chain, which I don't think I'm allowed to mention yet. But I'll say, when it comes to working, your degree will stand you in very good stead. The degree, as many of the other speakers have said tonight, it's accredited by EECSA, the Engineering Council of South Africa, and EECSA is signed to what we call the Washington Accords. These Washington Accords assure you that the degree that you get at UKZN is recognized internationally. And by it being recognized internationally, it has a lot more recognition locally as well. So your degree speaks volumes, not just to the time you've spent at university, but to your problem solving ability and to the standard of your education. So yeah, when it gets to the numbers at the end of the day, it's a good degree. It's hard work, but it's a good degree. It's a good learning experience. The biggest takeaway, I'll leave you, the biggest takeaway that I took from university was, firstly, when you get through the degree, you will have garnered a skill for picking up new information much faster than the average individual. Your ability to process new information and apply that information in the correct way is highly tuned. And the more personal aspect to my time at the university was the bonds I formed not just with my fellow students, but with my lecturers as well. You go through a lot of trials and tribulations, and through those, a lot of friendships will be formed. I'm still very, very close with my group of friends from university, even though they didn't do masters with me. We still are in contact almost every single day. We still get together frequently, and a lot of that is based on that foundation of what we did at university and the experiences we had there. I still regularly speak with Dr. Quazi, both for work, but also on a personal level. You'll find when you join the university, there's a lot of good people. Yeah, I think that about sums up my experience. It's hard work, but there's a lot of positives to it.
Thank you so much, Andre, for being informative and being heartful. We really, really appreciate that. And I hope that the potential Andres take inspiration from that and then join our family. The analogy I like to use is in echoing what Andre says about the difficulty, the challenges, is something I often teach my students, that when you are climbing a mountain or a hill, say the Drakensberg, yes, it is hard work. Your legs pain, but when you get to the top and look back at your achievement, it just makes it all that worth it.